my whole thing is, hey guys, let's make sure we pay attention to that stuff. And sometimes, they still get one by me. This is their job. This is what they do. And as bad as he is compared to Trump, as bad as he is compared to Vivek, he's up there. He's a great politician.
I want to play this clip for you. Then I got a question for you. This is a campaign video that most people haven't seen. This is from 5 years ago. Not this one. Go to the other one, the YouTube one right there. I want to play this clip, and I got a question for you.
Again, buddy.
Everyone knows my husband, Ron DeSantis, is endorsed by President Trump, but he's also an amazing dad.
Hey, have you guys seen this before?
Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build a wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He's teaching Madison to talk.
Make America great again.
People say Ron's all Trump, but he is so much more.
Big league. So good.
I just thought you should know.
Cringe. It probably was a great ad for the time, but looking back, now it is cringe. Suzanne said, I think Ron performs better in aggressive interviews. Patrick is so quick and smart, so you need your best game. Well said. Yeah, and that's since we're talking about fighting and MMA and stuff like that, that's what we call the John Jones effect, is that you only rise to the occasion that you need to. You could be the greatest fighter in the history of the game, but you're only bringing as much of that game as you need to. And that is, that might work when all you need to do is knock the other guy unconscious or hit him more times than he hits you. But when when you got to get people's votes, it's not the same thing. Nick said, start betting odds, right? Hopefully, odds hopefully end up in your favor eventually. Yeah, right. I mean, that's a big win when that guy finally gets 2 and 42? Come on. Gonzak doesn't like it. Oh man. The reactions. I love it. Zimmy said, Ron is lukewarm. He focused on facts with too much information. And this is another aspect. The Bonzig is saying his team is sabotaging him. This is mad. Now, again, I think this was for him. I'm pointing up because it might fit, but this was for him to be governor. This isn't for his presidential campaign. So I don't think that's a bad advertisement at all. I think that's perfectly fine. The problem is that it doesn't have the foresight to not be cringe today. That's the problem. And it's things like that you need to be able to look forward and say, okay, here's my strongest point today. How is that going to affect me tomorrow? Well, if everything is riding on coattails, then you ain't nothing. But like Bonsing is saying, his team might be sabotaging him. And a lot of the issues that people have had with DeSantis is not just his overall demeanor, but the marketing, and particularly the people who are interacting with people on Twitter. It's just not going well. So I don't know. It's a weird. Again, I think at the time, perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this ad. It's a goofy little thing, whatever. But that's the question. It begs the question. It raises the question. I keep using that incorrectly. It raises the question. So is he still that guy? So he's a Trump supporter? Does he think we're as dumb as Biden voters or what? These are the message. This is more optics that you've messed up, bro. You gotta know how this stuff is going to work. If you can't even play to your own people, how are you going to perform on the world stage with other countries?
Ron DeSantis for governor.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened between the two of you guys?
Well, nothing. Well, first of all, that just understand, like that's obviously a tongue-in-cheek. We were having fun.
Of course, it's actually a funny video.
But here's the thing. About
I agree.
When you're doing these campaigns, you want to get as much free media as possible. So I knew that would cause the corporate media to light their hair on fire, and they did. And so they just kept playing it for me. So
cope or no? Put a 1 if you think that's cope. Put a 2 if you think this was his plan all along. 1 if it was cope. 2 if it was planned all along. Suzanne said, DeSantis is too far to the right for me. He complained that Trump did not abuse his power over the riots and said he would do. Well, I mean, I guess that means that I might be too far to the right too, because I was definitely saying that if we're talking about like the summer of love with people burning down cities and not sending the National Guard out, I would have been happy with that. But absolutely fair enough. Fair enough. So we got 2 from Guantek and a 1 from Von Zig. Unwanted Foe said he's changing his team too many times for it to be a plan. Well, no. The plan specifically with that video. So he said the plan specifically with that video was that, mainstream media was going to pick it up and play it over and over and over. So he didn't have to actually pay for the advertising to run. So he ain't no shit. Well, we got a couple people who, believe him. Let's see. Let's run it back. Let's see. If we can see the body language.
In these campaigns, you want to get as much free media as possible. So I knew that would cause the corporate media to light their hair on fire, and they did. And so they just kept playing it for me. So we didn't even have to really pay for the ad and everything, and we're just doing out. And
I gotta tell you, I believe him. You want to know why? He's not talking like this. He leaned back, he's swinging his chair a little bit, he's using his arms a little bit more, he's getting a little bit more comfortable, and it doesn't sound so rehearsed. So I believe that. Now, again, is that super consequential whether or not he did that ad because he was riding coattails or because he knew it would get play or whatever? At this point, not really. But I'm concerned with how much is he playing the game, how much is he being honest, and how much of that can overlap. Because ideally, that's what we want, is that somebody who knows how to play the game, but in the midst of playing the game, they still deliver on what is promised, at least for the most part. Obviously, we don't have a wall. But it wasn't 50 miles like they said, right? Zippy said they went in the direction of boomer cool, so they went cringe. Cringe can be good, but also very bad. DeSantis does not have the charisma to do a cringe ad campaign. Fair enough. And even said he should have stayed on the Trump train if attacked by Trump. He should have just said, I think he did a great job. I love the MAGA movement, and I think it's a great future for America. But how was that not campaigning for Trump to be the president then? That's the issue with putting yourself in that position in the first place. If he wanted to be that guy, he should have been that guy as the Florida governor. Suzanne said the governor has to send the National Guard out to his state. It's not a presidential power to overrule the governor. That is true. I'm just saying in general, I think that it was reasonable for those governors to have called the National Guard. That's all I mean. Guantek said, what's worse, calculated robot charisma or old man yelling at the sky charisma Joe? Definitely Joe is worse. Joe is definitely worse. All right. I'm totally fine with going back to politics being boring, which is what we would get with Ron. You're not going to get salacious headlines every single day. They're going to try, but it's not going to be that. But the headlines that we get today, they're not salacious, nor are they're not fun like they were with Trump. It's just like, oh, Biden did some brain dead bullshit again. It's not fun. I don't want that. So definitely yelling at this guy, charisma Joe. So he said DeSantis should have been like, I like Trump, but I can do better. Then do it in 20 words or less. Yep. So said, I think the deep state would end up controlling Ron just like Biden. But maybe not quite as bad. Not sure how it would be boring. I have a feeling we are past that as far as the media thinks. I say boring in a comparative way. Certainly, we have passed the Rubicon where they could just go back to, well, yes, today the Republicans did this and the Democrats did that, and they happened to disagree, but at the end of the day, they shook hands. Yeah, we're past that. But I mean, I don't know about like just everything is racist and president is a Nazi and this. I don't know if we're gonna be seeing all that kind of salaciousness, salatiating. I don't know, but I think that I agree that it's gone. But with Trump, we got hope. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe for the $10 super chat. Let me see. I'm not gonna coax him too much because he's scared, but. Morty, come here. Come get a treat. Come here. No. He's shaking. But I do have his treats here for him. Thank you. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you, sir. Very, very much appreciated.
And so part of it is that gets out. What do the average voters see? They say, hey, this is a guy with this beautiful wife, young kids, everything like that. And that kind of helped us there. But, I did more for him in his 2020 reelection than any other elected official. I raised him more money than any elected official. I got people in Florida to support him that were not happy with him because he didn't fire Fauci. He didn't do anything to stop the BLM riots in the summer of 2020.
And that's just what Suzanne was talking about, is that he doesn't have that power. It's the governor's responsibility.
Which we didn't tolerate in Florida. But you had cities burning down all across this country, and there was nothing done. So there was a lot of people that I got on his team, and I worked really hard, and we, really delivered the victory, because in October of 2020, I mean, his campaign was putting out stuff, oh, if he loses Florida, it's all because of the governor. Okay, well, I brought in more Republicans here. So I was happy to do that. But the reality is, okay, what about going forward? What's the vehicle to make the country great again? And we need somebody who's going to be able to galvanize support and then attract the needed personnel to be able to deal with the administrative state.
And I can do that by?
And then you need to actually be able to deliver results. I mean,
okay, and I can do that by?
One of the things on there that it's talking about is the wall. Remember, build the wall and have Mexico pay for it. What he now says on the campaign trail, I mean, honestly, honks me off, because he says that if you believed what he said then, that you're somehow a loser. That's what he said the other day. And then before he says, oh, all these people saying that I'm gonna have Mexico pay. There's no legal mechanism in Mexico. Then you look at,
did he actually use the word loser? I would be very surprised if he used the word loser. I wouldn't be flabbergasted, but it strikes me as like Trump doesn't seem to speak that way. So just keep, and again, all is fair in love and war and politics, but just keep that in mind. I don't know that he called you a loser if you thought that, Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Now, at the time, I was very open about how stupid I think it is for any of you to believe that Trump is going to get Mexico to pay for the wall. And I was right about that. I don't know how many of you believe that, but let's keep it a buck. Of all of the never Trumper things, Mexico was never paying for that wall. Come on. Let's grab some of these here. Zippy says only progressivism can bring you a senile dementia patient as president of the United States.
Come on, man.
He did. Yep. Facts. Maybe reelected. He won his first race by a narrow margin. Then second by a landslide. Oh, you mean wait? Oh, you mean DeSantis only got elected because of Trump? A whole bunch of people getting elected just because of Trump. He won his first race in a narrow margin, the second race by a landslide. Well, yeah. Oh, absolutely only because of Trump. Indie Film says Ron disingenuous. Yes, Trump should have fired Fauci. Had an investigation into the whole China COVID matter, but had zero power to do anything about the riots. Yeah, that's a good talking point, because I'd forgotten about that, and I'd thought about that, and it's, you have to pay attention to that stuff. My whole thing is, hey guys, let's make sure we pay attention to that stuff. And sometimes, they still get one by me. This is their job. This is what they do. And as bad as he is compared to Trump, as bad as he is compared to Vivek, he's up there. He's a great politician. So good call, good catch, making sure, keeping me honest, and maybe Ron, not so much.
What he said in 2016, he was saying he was going to have Mexico pay. But here's the thing about execution. There actually is a way to have Mexico pay. The way you have Mexico pay is you impose fees on remittances that people send back to Mexico who work here, Central America.
Right. So I'm going to back this up. But yeah, so Suzanne, that's what I'm curious about, is that they're losers, these losers over here. But for his own supporters who believed that Trump was going to not only get the wall built completely and then get Mexico to pay for it. DeSantis just said Trump is now calling those people losers. Not for it is okay. Not for it is out of, okay. That's what I thought. See, I'm catching most of this stuff. CT, so they said the wall would cost $10 to $20 billion. Trump could have just built it. Don't really know why he didn't. We've spent $100 billion plus on Ukraine's border. That is fucking based. And I think the comment of the night. How would you not be elected again if you took $20 billion out of your own pocket to build a wall? It's not like he wouldn't have been able to make money back by being the president again. It's because, all the business holdings were, for family members. He had nothing to do with any of that, right? Smart. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.